Did you know that some jewel beetles are used for decorative purposes? Their wing cases, and occasionally the entire insect, are incorporated in brooches and other pieces of jewelry. Jewel beetles, also called metallic beetles or wood-boring beetles, are so named because of their distinctive glossy bright colors and iridescent protective or covering. The jewel beetle has a shiny, brilliant color on its chitinous shell called the carapace. Insect collectors are very passionate about some of the most vibrantly colored large beetles in this species. In many countries like Japan, Thailand, and India, the colorful shells are used for making beetle wing jewelry. These bugs are mostly cylindrical, elongated, or ovoid in shape. They also come with interesting and complicated patterns along with their brilliant colors. The bright colors of the jewel beetle are not because of the pigments in the exoskeleton, but it is caused by structural coloration in which the microscopic texture of their cuticle selectively reflects specific frequencies of light in a particular direction. These include the Inabad jewel beetle, green jewel beetle, new leaf jewel beetle, golden jewel beetle, rainbow jewel beetle, purple jewel beetle, emerald jewel beetle, and more. Some of these jewel beetles, also known as metallic wood borer beetles, come under the serious pest category due to their capabilities to cause serious damage on a large scale. One such pest jewel beetle is the emerald ash borer. They can see infrared light from a distance, which helps them to get closer to a forest fire. They come in colors like reds, greens, blues, and purples. Jewel beetles are known to thrive on deadwood. They lay their eggs there and develop their various larvae stages inside the deadwood. What type of animal is a jewel beetle? The jewel beetle is a type of beetle species, or a bug found in the forest trees in the northern hemisphere. They are famous for their vividly colored bodies in jewel or metallic colors. Some of the subspecies include Japanese jewel beetle, giant jewel beetle, African jewel beetle, Australian jewel beetle, and more. It was first discovered and superficially described in 1960 by Canadian entomologist Dr. William George Evans. Evans insisted that the tiny pits of this curious beetle contained infrared receptors. The more research entomologists have conducted on this little creature, the more amazed they become. For example, the black fire beetle, as it is called in Canada, like many animals in creation, requires special conditions in which to breed. This insect needs burnt wood from a blazing forest fire. But how does it find such conditions? It has been designed with special sensors, sensilla, in tiny pits on its underside that can actually pick up infrared radiation from the flames of a fire. This capability to detect infrared radiation, either from a fire or heat produced by an animal, is quite amazing and has no evolutionary mechanism of development. As is known, this beetle, there are several species on several continents, and some snakes, such as the pit viper, are the only creatures with this ability. Not surprisingly, with this capacity, jewel beetles are the first creatures to move into such an inhospitable environment. Because they are the first arrivals, there are no jewel beetle predators to worry about, and they can proliferate in large numbers. The female flies to the still smoldering bark of a tree to lay her eggs. The young hatch and are safe inside the dead wood. Population. The exact number of jewel beetles across the world would be difficult to calculate, as they are actually difficult to calculate. There are hundreds of subspecies and genera for this species, which makes it all the more difficult to come up with exact numbers. Where does a jewel beetle live? The jewel beetle lives in farmland, garden, forest, jungle, or woodlands. They may live on a plant or tree that is dying. Some species are attracted to recently burned forests and lay their eggs there. They are known as a tough species that can thrive in adverse conditions. The habitat of the jewel beetle could be any region with abundant plants and trees. That is, they feed and live on the ground as well. They are found on a dying plant or a dying branch of a tree. Who do jewel beetles live with? The jewel beetle lives alone most of the time. The jewel beetle habitat may be in the vicinity of other beetles and insects, but they lead a solitary existence until the breeding season. Most beetles spend their whole life in the area or around it. Reproduction. The adult jewel beetle lives for 3 weeks. They may live for a few days or a few weeks. At the pupal stage, the beetle can live for a longer duration, even in adverse conditions. The mating ritual of the jewel beetle is as good as a Roman gladiator. In certain species, they may fight to the death to win mating rights. Males may fight amongst themselves, or females will fight each other to win mating rights. The strongest one that survives these battles will mate. The mating process usually lasts for a few minutes to several hours. After the mating is over, the female will go to the bark of a tree to lay her eggs. The eggs are laid on the host trees and the cracks present in the bark of the respective trees. The life cycle of jewel beetles can be called complete metamorphosis and is divided into 4 stages, which are egg, larva, pupal, and adult. The larvae of these beetles are known as flat-headed borers, too. Female jewel beetles will lay 20 to 30 eggs on host trees, usually in the tiny crevice of the bark or under a shoot or a stem. Beetle larvae then grow into a worm-like appearance and are voracious eaters. As they begin to grow, they will discard their outer covering, which is known as the exoskeleton, to have more room. This process is called molting and can happen 7 to 10 times before it enters the pupal stage. In the pupal stage, the larvae from the pupa or cocoon lay dormant in it. This is the most transformative stage for the growth of the beetle. This is the time when the larvae take the shape of the adult beetle. The jewel beetle can take anywhere between days to years to grow into a full-fledged adult. After crossing this stage, the jewel beetle attains full adulthood. Conservation status. The conservation status of the jewel beetle is of the least concern. We can find them in many places. However, some subspecies that are considered pests may be exterminated using natural or chemical insecticides, causing severe population loss for them. How cute are they? Jewel beetles are mesmerizing to look at. They are a collector's delight due to the various metallic colors or jewel tone they come in. They are cute and worthy of collecting too. Jewel beetles may make a buzzing sound when they fly. There may be some vocal or non-vocal communication before or during their mating seasons. Apart from that, they may not communicate that much. The jewel beetle moves fast when they are pursued by a predator. Otherwise, they are known to hide or stay on their plant most of the time. Feeding. The jewel beetle diet comprises the juiciest part of the plant. Some species eat from a dying tree or a branch. The larvae can eat roots, logs, stems, and leaves from any plant or tree. Some species of flat-headed borer from the jewel beetle family eat spruce, fir, and hemlock. Female versus male jewel beetle. There may not be much difference between a male and a female jewel beetle. However, females have a larger body compared to males and they can't fly, but the males can fly. Females possess a shiny appearance on their bodies to which a male can recognize while flying around. Are they rare? Some subspecies of the jewel beetles are extremely rare, and some may be found only in specific locations. There are various types of jewel beetles around the world, and not all are found everywhere, which makes them rare. The giant jewel beetle is found in the Limpopo province of South Africa, and can grow to a size of 2 centimeters, and it is a protein-rich delicacy in the villages there. The jewel beetle carapace is used as a decorative piece of jewelry in many Southeast Asian countries. The maracay beetle from Central America is worn as a living decoration. The rarest jewel beetles with a unique color and pattern may cost as high as $450. They are expensive as they are highly prized by collectors and insect lovers. The vivid colors of their skin, combined with complex patterns and size, makes them a must-have item in their collection. That's all we have for you today, folks. Thanks for watching.